सोनामुखी, हरड़, मुलेठी जैसी अनेक जड़ी बूटियां और हजारों वर्षों का प्राचीन आयुर्वेदिक ज्ञान इस एक बोतल में समाया हुआ है। कायम टैबलेट, आपकी खुशियों का साथी।
Iran has been living without any internet for over 100 hours now. It is once again facing intense international attention. Reports from activists, monitoring groups, and journalists say the country has experienced one of its most severe internet shutdowns in years. Some describe it as a near total nationwide blackout lasting close to 100 hours. As anti-government protests spread across Iranian cities, the government responded by cutting off the internet access. Officials say it is about security and stopping what they call foreign influence. But many analysts see something else. They say the leadership is really worried about how powerful social media has become, especially for younger Iranians, the Gen Z, especially after the violent protest in Nepal or Bangladesh. But what does that actually mean, and how does a modern country function when the internet goes dark? What exactly is happening in Iran? Iran was hit by widespread protests across several major cities. These protests followed weeks of rising tension, economic pressure, and anger over political repression. As demonstrations grew, internet monitoring groups reported sharp drops in connectivity across the country. Mobile data services were first hit. Then came disruptions to broadband and international connections. According to organizations that track global internet traffic, Iran's online access fell to a small fraction of normal levels. Iranian authorities did not officially announce a nationwide shutdown, but this is not unusual. In past crises, the government has avoided public statements while quietly restricting access behind the scenes. Was this a total internet blackout? That depends on how the word total is used. Most reporting describes the shutdown as near total, not absolute. Some government offices, banks, and state approved networks continue operating on closed domestic systems. A small number of Iranians also managed to get limited access through satellite links or special tools. But for ordinary people, the internet effectively disappeared. Messaging apps stopped working, online payments failed, navigation apps went offline. Even simple communication with family became difficult. For millions, daily life suddenly became so much harder. So why does Iran shut down the internet? Iran has a long history of using internet restrictions during any unrest. The goal is control. When the internet is down, protesters struggle to organize. Videos of demonstrations are harder to share, and the outside world sees far less of what's happening on the ground. Iran also runs a national intranet, sometimes called the National Information Network. It allows the government to keep essential services running while cutting off global access. This gives authorities leverage during moments of crisis. What about the reported death toll? Human rights groups outside Iran have reported that hundreds of people may have been killed during recent protests. Some figures circulating online claim more than 600 deaths. However, major news organizations stress that these numbers cannot be independently verified due to the restricted access, arrest of journalists, and the internet shutdown itself. Iran's government disputes high casualty figures, and it has not released detailed data. This uncertainty is not new at all. It has happened during previous protest waves in 2019 and 2022 as well. So how are people coping without the internet in this digital era? Life during a digital blackout becomes slower and more fragile. People rely on cash instead of online banking. Businesses struggle to operate. Hospitals face communication challenges. Families depend on landlines or word of mouth. And for younger Iranians, especially, the silence can feel so isolating and frightening. One of the less visible effects is psychological. When people cannot see or hear what others are experiencing, fear spreads more easily. Is the United States getting involved? US officials have publicly condemned Iran's internet restrictions and violence against protesters. American officials have discussed ways to support internet freedom, including technical assistance and sanctions related to censorship tools. Some reports mention cyber or psychological measures, but no concrete actions have been announced as yet. So far, US involvement remains diplomatic and rhetorical, not operational. Does this threaten Iran's leadership? Internet shutdowns often signal vulnerability, not strength. They suggest that authorities fear losing control of the narrative. But history shows that shutdowns alone do not determine outcomes. Iran's leadership survived similar crises in the past, though each episode leaves deeper scars: economical, social, and political. The bigger question is not whether the regime collapses tomorrow, it's how much trust is lost each time the country goes dark. What happens next? Internet access usually returns gradually, services come back unevenly, and life resumes. But changed. What remains is memory. For many Iranians, another blackout reinforces a sense of being cut off, not just from the world but from their own future. And that may be the most lasting impact of all. Can a government rule a population it has effectively silenced? Let us know in the comments below.